Welcome back folks to a new top-down analysis. In this video we will be covering how I was able to predict that the Nasdaq was going to make a new all-time high using the top-down analysis. Let's get right into it. Weekly chart. Well, every top-down analysis should start at least from this time frame. As you can see, last week we had traded into a weekly fair value gap. With this in mind, I knew that we could possibly see an up-close candle this week. That is why we should start looking for signatures that confirm our bullishness in the lower time frames. Daily chart. Here we had a daily fair value gap coupled with the weekly fair value gap showed on the last slide. As you can see, the candlestick's bodies are respecting the daily fair value gap. In fact, here I will introduce you the S&P 500, since it had inverted a daily bearish FVG, which confirms more bullishness. This is the S&P daily chart. As you can see it had inverted that FVG, so I was expecting the Nasdaq to move higher too. You should keep in mind that these markets are correlated, so you can use them both in order to frame your bias with a more solid analysis. 4-hour chart. We are back with the Nasdaq. Here we start seeing how the structure had shifted to the upside. Besides, after filling the weekly fair value gap, it traded with energy to the upside, forming a 4-hour bullish order block that was beautifully respected. Then it started to move to the upside and ended up inverting a 4-hour fair value gap that shooted price right into the all-time highs. Be mindful that all of this is happening inside of the daily and weekly FVG, so we are adding confluences to confirm our bullishness. 1-hour chart. Well, here we see how the market structure shifted to the upside more clearly. We passed from creating lower highs and lower lows, to forming higher lows and higher highs. This confirms a market structure shift. And if you take a look, there was an hourly fair value gap inside of the weekly and daily FVG and inside of the 4-hour order block. We keep adding more bullish confluences to the idea that a new all-time high was going to be put in. 15 minutes chart. Well, here we have the 15 minutes chart. As you can see we had a bullish trend. But we will be focusing on this shaded area. Now that we have zoomed in, I have marked the midnight opening price for New York. This price is used to frame the power of 3 concept. Therefore, as you can see, price accumulated from the midnight open until it rated a sell-side liquidity pool, which is our manipulation phase. After that, it started to distribute to the upside, using 15 minutes fair value gaps, and an order block inside of the 4-hour inversion fair value gap, so we keep adding more bullish confluences. This is the power of 3 concept. It is based on the formation of a candlestick. When the candlestick opens, it starts to accumulate, then it manipulates, usually sweeping some sort of opposite liquidity or rebalancing an imbalance, and finally it distributes. The point of reference for this concept is the midnight opening price using New York local time. It is a really useful concept when we have a predefined bias, since we can see how the daily candle is forming while we are on a lower time frame. 5 minutes chart. Well, here you can see that we keep seeing more confluences to the upside. We have a 5-minute fair value gap that was traded into before the energetic move to the upside. Then, we had the displacement creating another 5 minutes FVG that was beautifully respected to keep pushing higher. It was followed by a 5 minutes institutional order flow entry drill, which is a partially filled FVG, in this case it was by a tick as you can see on this slide. Finally it ended up creating the new all-time high after visiting another fair value gap. 1 minute chart. We have made it to the 1 minute chart. Here you can see how price was respecting a bullish order block before the move to the upside that created that breakaway gap. In this case, I was looking to enter long on that fair value gap if it would have been visited, but it did not offer an entry. Then, we have another FVG inside of the 5 minutes FVG that was also respected with the candlestick's bodies. To sum up, If you add up every confluence, you can come to the conclusion that price was eventually bullish. That is why I encourage you to do this kind of analysis for your own personal trading. You have stayed until the end of the video. Congratulations for being interested in learning. You just have to keep showing up until you succeed. You are on the right path. Thank you for watching and for the recent support, it means a lot. Until the next one, good trading and be safe.